How did the British react to the American Revolution? A look at contemporary newspaper articles and speeches from each key moment gives unparalleled insight into what Britain really thought about American independence as it happened. War became all but inevitable when in February of 1775, British Parliament passed a motion declaring Massachusetts to be in rebellion to the Crown. Reactions to this in Britain were mixed at best, with the Derby Mercury in 1775 reporting a speech in the House of Lords vehemently opposed to drawing the sword against America and warning against plunging the nation into civil war. The Speaker asks, have we any right to tax the Americans? If we can tax the Americans without their consent, they have no property, nothing which they can call their own. The words liberty and property would become a mockery. Aside from ethical concerns, the Speaker also suggests that Britain simply doesn't have the manpower or means to conquer even Massachusetts, let alone all the American colonies. Finally, the Speaker warns the whole continent will be dismembered from Great Britain, and the wide arch of the raised empire will fall. Sure enough, the following year things turned bloody as the first shots of the war were fired in Lexington and Concord. Reporting the incident, the Leeds Intelligencer verbalizes a common concern at the time, that the bloodshed would lead to the entire continent taking up arms, and sure enough, they did. However, the same article later confidently predicts that the American cause will weaken, since people compelled will never serve the purpose so well, and too numerous armies can neither be supported nor commanded. The article then accuses the Americans of trying to pin the blame on the British. The question of who fired first remains controversial to this day. On July 4, 1776, the Declaration of Independence was signed, and some newspapers such as the Hibernian Journal poured scorn on it. The scheme of independence is ruinous, delusive, and impracticable. Permanent liberty and true happiness can only be obtained by reconciliation with Great Britain. The Ipswich Journal, however, takes a much more pragmatic approach, reminding its readers that Great Britain is less than 1/90th the size of America. And that fact, added to America's ever-increasing population, amounts to a proof of the utter impossibility of ever subjugating the Americans. This prediction came to fruition in 1781 with the total defeat and capture of Cornwallis and his men in the Battle of Yorktown. The Kentish Gazette reports on the articles of Cornwallis's capitulation, and blames the British defeat at Commander Henry Clinton's feet for allowing Washington's men to march past his without attempting to attack them. This humiliation would then be followed by the final humiliation in 1783 at the Treaty of Paris, when Britain formally recognised America's independence. The Kentish Gazette reporting, "This day the definitive treaties between Great Britain, France, Spain, and the United States of America were to be signed. On the part of Great Britain, it is a day of humiliation. She confirms the independence of her own subjects and treats them as sovereign states." British sentiment towards the American Revolution went from apprehension to defiance to abject humiliation over the course of a decade. Thank you for watching.